we've come up with whereby there is power both pushing and pulling on the handlebars. Also, as you notice, the force is being driven from the handlebars down to the gear system. This is a very compact gear system. It has 3 speeds. It's on a Sturmey Archer 3-speed hub, and Jamie will demonstrate it. Jamie, would you like to ride it for them? Okay. As you can tell, this scooter is, you can ride it and push it along or pedal it. It is very efficient. We have built a prototype out of steel and stainless steel, which you could make it out of lighter construction. One thing we'd like you to notice is the turning radius on the scooter. You can pump while you turn. This is one way we've devised, which makes it very efficient, that you don't have to stop, or your hands can turn and pump at the same time. We have also devised a tricycle, which is like a big wheels and a tricycle combined. A person sits down in a seat and pushes with his legs and pulls with his arms, much like a rowing machine. Has 10 to 15 speeds and will accelerate very fast. We feel that this is a very novel thing that has come off this invention also. We also have a bicycle.
The inventors of the power pumper recently dropped off a prototype vehicle at a local school. The response was overwhelming. By the end of recess, all the kids wanted one.
I'd like to have it. But it's good and I wish I could get one.
Do you have any in our size?
Want one? How much does it cost?
You go like this and it gives you a lot of exercise. I think it gives you more exercise than a bike because the bike you just pedal. And this you go like this and you go.
It was fun. It was awesome and cool, and I want one of my own. It was really fun. I'd like to have one a lot. I want one for Christmas.
Power Pumper, Power Pumper, Power Pumper. Here comes the new action ride-on, the totally new concept and fun. Power Pumper, the fastest, funnest kid power car ever built. Check this power plant. Power Pumper uses both feet and arms in an aerobic action that doubles the power and leaves old-time pedal cars in the dust. Just a few Power Pumpers are available this season, and there's just one way to get yours. Call 1-800-859-HEART. Power Pumper, great fun, great exercise, and a great Christmas gift. Kids call the Power Pumper one of the best new toys around, and we call it one of the best built products available. It's safe, and its precision steel frame is built to last. You won't find Power Pumper in stores until next year, so order direct from the manufacturer at 1-800-859-HEART. A limited number of Power Pumpers are available at $199.95. Reserve yours for Christmas with a $25 deposit. Just call 1-800-859-HART. For the rugged Northwest, you need a sidekick. A Suzuki Sidekick from Kopp's Motors. When you head out into the snow and rain, you need the security of a four-wheel drive Sidekick. And you get the same sure-footed features of the competition at half the price. When you get a new Suzuki Sidekick from Kopp's Motors, you'll also get a free Power Pumper ride-on car from Hart. The Sidekick for your little sidekick from Kopp's Motors in downtown Vancouver, where cars simply sell for less.
Plus, a local inventor markets a toy that really moves but requires no batteries. Coming up next from the News Center.
Plus, it was invented in Oregon, and your kids will probably want one. It's the Power Pumper. We'll take it for a test drive. The work of a local inventor appears on the market just in time for Christmas.
It's a car for kids powered by kids. Come along for a ride next. You know, the holiday toy market has a new addition, and it comes from right here in the Portland area. A local inventor has created a new kids cycle called the Power Pumper. It's being marketed by a Vancouver, Washington toy company as a healthy and fun toy. Mark Hubbard and some local kids gave it a test drive this morning.
The Power Pumper is a unique new toy because of where it gets its power. Not just from the pedals at your feet, but from the handlebars, which obviously you pump. A dozen of the little cars are on loan to the Portland school system to be used in Scooterville. The make-believe city teaches students about traffic laws. But for these kids, this is about a lot more than learning. Ask them what they think about the Power Pumper, they all say the same thing.
I think this is really fun.
They're real fun.
They're just fun.
If you want it to go faster, take long strokes when you ride it.
The Power Pumper is the invention of Mike Jones. He thought of it while standing in a toy store looking at scooters.
I thought if you could make the handlebars go back and forth and power it while you were riding on it, that would be a neat toy. And I stood there and envisioned the gear system.
Now it's on the road, so to speak, providing a good time and good exercise. The PE teacher likes it as much as the students.
It helps the feet and legs too, but they're getting a good upper body workout where they don't often get that just playing with bikes or any other kind of cars and things.
The Power Pumper comes with another big P, price tag. They retail for just under $200. Oh, and by the way, like most other hot holiday toys, there is some assembly required. With photographer Morris Banks, Mark Hubbard, News Center 6.
What if you can put chains on those tires?
It's cold, but
Looking for a holiday gift that can help keep your kids fit? A local inventor has created a toy that works the upper body. It is called the Power Pumper. The cycle gets its power from the pedals and the handlebars. Students in Portland schools are using a dozen of the little cars to learn about traffic laws. Inventor Mike Jones got the idea at a toy store. He happened to stop in front of the scooter aisle.
I thought if you could make the handlebars go back and forth and power it while you were riding on it, that would be a neat toy. And I stood there and envisioned the gear system.
For now, the Power Pumper is only available through mail order catalog.
Viewer called to say she rode one like that in 1923. It was called a Sammy car. Yeah, so maybe you got the idea at an antique store. Sports news.
Winter doesn't officially start for another month, but the winter weather is here. We may see some snow today above the 500-foot level.
Are you ready for the snow? Find out what you'll need to stay safe on the roads.
And for young drivers, there's a new hot rod on the market. We'll take a spin with a local inventor's toy.
Still ahead, just pedaling down the street could become a thing of the past thanks to a new invention.
The Power Pumper is a real big hit with the kids. We'll give you a look at the newest way to get around when we come back. 6:25 now. It's about time to get going on the Christmas shopping, holiday shopping, but what do you get the kid who has everything? Well, how about a toy made right here in the Northwest?
A local inventor has created a new kids' cycle called the Power Pumper. It's being marketed by a Vancouver, Washington toy company as both a healthy and a fun toy. We gave it a test drive. The Power Pumper is a unique new toy because of where it gets its power. Not just from the pedals at your feet, but from the handlebars, which obviously you pump. A dozen of the little cars are on loan to the Portland school system to be used in Scooterville. The make-believe city teaches students about traffic laws. But for these kids, this is about a lot more than learning. Ask them what they think about the Power Pumper, they all say the same thing.
I think this is really fun.
They're real fun.
They're just fun.
If you want it to go faster, take long strokes when you ride it.
The Power Pumper is the invention of Mike Jones. He thought of it while standing in a toy store looking at scooters.
I thought if you could make the handlebars go back and forth and power it while you were riding on it, that would be a neat toy. And I stood there and envisioned the gear system.
Now it's on the road, so to speak, providing a good time and good exercise. The PE teacher likes it as much as the students.
It helps the feet and legs too, but they're getting a good upper body workout where they don't often get that just playing with bikes or any other kind of cars and things.
The Power Pumper comes with another big P, price tag. They retail for just under $200. Oh, and by the way, like most other hot holiday toys, there is some assembly required. Right now, you can only get the Power Pumper through mail order catalog.
Don't you think you're a little too old and a little too big to be pumping away on that thing?
Well, to report on a story, you have to get the real feel for the story, so...
That you did.
They were fun.
Thanks, Mark.
And if you've ever had an idea for a toy, you're not alone. Later, Ken Ackerman shows us how those dreams can become reality.
And inside this blue jacket is a piece of sheet metal that's folded into a triangle. And inside that is simply a flash.
Back to Christmas, Santa's elves are not the only ones making a go out of toy building.
That's right. Next, you can meet some local residents who gave up their jobs to design toys and find out how you might be able to follow in their footsteps. You know, speaking of toys, your name does not have to be Milton or Bradley to get into inventing toys.
Ken Ackerman tells us tonight that a local toy company is looking for a few good ideas.
You can steer this while you roll.
All it takes is just one idea.
This is the first squiggle pen prototype I ever built.
And you too can follow in the footsteps of local toy inventors now living comfortably off their royalties. Like Mike Jones, who thought of a way to improve a toy while standing in line at Toys R Us.
You know, that's kind of an expensive toy just to push down the road. You know, if you could stand on it and push the handlebars back and forth and make it go, that'd be a neat toy.
Mike's Power Pumper is a hit. They're used in the Portland school system and has given Mike the freedom to leave his cement business behind.
And the general contractor looked at me and says, "What does this mean, Mike?" And I says, it means that I don't have to take any more crap from you. That was my last day.
Mike and wife Sigrid live in a nice home in a nice neighborhood, happily ever after.
I was about 10 years old when I started actually developing things that worked.
Rick Kristen was a firefighter who now goes by
Mr. Fun.
Thanks to his inventions, Mr. Fun will never have to go to Mr. Firehouse again, all because he followed through with his idea.
And then the idea hit me. You got to have a motor, you got to have a weight and a battery to drive it. And I went down to Fred Meyer's and I bought all the parts I needed. And 15 minutes, there it was, the squiggle pen.
We get probably 300-400 new submissions a year, of which we probably go with, you know, half dozen, 6 or 8.
Joe Hart, vice president of Hart Enterprises of Vancouver, isn't trying to discourage those with ideas. In fact, quite the opposite. Mike Jones went to them with this.
You have wheelbarrow tires and water pipe and car parts and everything else on the prototypes.
Rick Christian approached Hart with his idea.
These are things that you just put together with glue and baling wire.
But your idea doesn't even have to be that elaborate.
A lot of people don't have the means or the ability to fashion a prototype, so they come in with their ideas and we can run with it from there.
The Power Pumpers just hit the market in June and are a huge hit. 10 million of the Squiggle Pens are now in the hands of consumers, and the Squiggle Ball is right behind. Who knows? Your idea could be next. In Portland, Ken Ackerman, the 10 o'clock news.
Fun stuff.
Let's go home right now. You could
Have you ever dreamed of seeing your great idea become a multi-million-dollar, I have to read from this one because I can't see to that one, $1 million moneymaker that's sold throughout the world? Well, today you'll meet local inventors whose great ideas have made it big. They'll show us their inventions and tell us how to turn a brainstorm into a financial windfall. We first of all meet the two gentlemen with us here on the set. There is Mike Jones and Mr. Rick Kristen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you guys here.
You made it in.
Yeah. All right, I have in my hand here, if you could get a picture of this boom maybe, or somebody. This is a squiggle writer, correct? Now look at this, it's a pen here, but when I turn it down, when I turn it on like that, it becomes this shaky thing. See it? It's shaky. You turn it off, now you turn it on, and then when you write on it, it squiggles.
Can you demonstrate for us?
Oh, you bet.
Okay. Anyways, this is an invention that's made a few dollars?
Yeah, it's made a few dollars.
Okay. All right.
This is the squiggle pen, and depending on where you hold it, whether you hold it to the tip or up closer to the center, you can do different types of squiggles with it.
Isn't that neat?
Now, what did you used to do before you got this bright idea? Listen to this.
Well, I was a fireman for the city of Portland.
Now, you stopped being a fireman when you made your first million, is that correct?
Yes.
You are a millionaire now?
Yes.
He is a millionaire. Why don't you write with this?
Millionaire. I earned it.
Yeah, did you really?
Yes.
I hear that from inventors who have finally made it, and they say, whatever you make, you earn it, because what you have to go through to get a patent and to get all this thing designed, and legally, all the attorneys you have to pay, you earn every dime of it. Do you believe that?
Yes. One way or another, you're going to earn your money.
The process,
it doesn't come free.
No.
From start to finish, takes about how long before you can actually see your product?
When I brought the first squiggle pen to Hart Enterprises, it took about 1 year for them to accept it and then for it to get on the market.
Go ahead, right with the Bill Clinton one. This was fun. We had a great time with that pen in a meeting one day. And it's, you can just, isn't that great?
I don't know if you can see that. It's red, isn't it?
Yeah, this is red, and it doesn't probably show up that good on the camera. But when you're up close with a piece of paper, it shows up wonderful.
Where is this sold?
This is sold just about everywhere in the United States.
The pens are sold?
Yes.
Really?
You can get them at Toys R Us and just about anywhere. Just about wherever you go to shop for Christmas toys, you'll see a squiggle wiggle.
What does that cost? And is it?
Oh, anywhere from around the $7 range.
Really?
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 Now, you quit your job. At what point did you realize you were actually going to make enough money to not have to be a fireman anymore?
Well, I quit my job when I realized that I had enough stored away where I wouldn't have to do anything anymore.
Really? So now what's the next step? You're just going to sit around and...
Oh, no, I'm coming up with toys all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's in my blood now.
Amazing.
Okay, so these balls here, are these yours too?
Yes.
And these are, what are these?
This is called the squiggle ball. And the squiggle ball has got an eccentrically mounted weight inside the ball and a motor and a battery.
Yeah.
And the motor drives the internal weight at about 170 RPM.
I see.
And when the weight is held still, the ball begins to turn.
Oh, I
And when the
see.
ball comes up against a fixed object like a leg of a chair or a wall, it just turns around and goes the other way. It's completely random. Can't tell where it's going to go next. It never
That's
gets
fun.
stuck.
Great. All right, let's now introduce another gentleman. Mike Jones, you invented something called the Power Pumper. Tell us about the Power Pumper.
The Power Pumper is a little car, and actually I invented the gear system that powers the Power Pumper. And this is one of 23 items that it works on. Besides toys and adult models, we have a handicap model that we're working with a wheelchair company for the handicapped people, and where they can use their upper and lower body.
Okay, Mike, this is your daughter, Bryn. Bryn, go ahead and just, if you would, go around in a small circle over there, over where you were, so we can get a shot of you.
Well, it's very...
It's kind of hard. We're asking her to stand.
Yeah, this...
There you go.
Just to go in a wider circle.
What does
There
this
she is.
do?
Actually, is what it does. If you notice, she's not pedaling. She's working it like an old railroad pump car. And before, there have been pumper cars in the past, but when you let go of the handle, they kept pumping, and this freewheels. And it's, because of this, you're able to put 10, 15, 100 speeds on this bike, and you're using 4 appendages with a 96% efficiency instead of 66 like a bike.
Now, have you always been mechanical? I mean, has this sort of thing always intrigued you?
I didn't think so, but as people have asked me, I grew up on a farm in the desert of Utah, and at the age of 11, we were required to fix any machinery that we drove and broke.
Right.
And so I was working with machinery from then.
Okay.
All right, were you able to quit your job and just do this?
Yes, about 3 years ago, I was a concrete contractor, and off inventing, I was able to walk away from concrete.
Really? Now, would you say that, like Rick, that you are a millionaire?
I'm a little newer through the door than Rick. As far as, like, the Power Pumper just came on the market in June. It's doing very well.
Will it do well this Christmas?
It's doing well. The production is not up yet because it's up and running. Next Christmas will be really well, and next year, but it's doing really well.
How much?
Yeah.
How much?
These are retailing out right now at $199.95.
Great. That's fun. All right, well, thanks. That's great. It's amazing.
It
You quit
is.
your job. All right, when we come back, meet more local inventors with their great ideas. Stay with us. Where is this available?
This is a hit. This is going to go somewhere.
A pen that squiggles, a scooter with pumping power. Meet 2 average Northwest guys and learn how they dreamed up their incredible $1 million inventions.
We're batting 500. Stick around. We'll tell you how 2 Northwesterners became millionaire inventors.
Still ahead, they're average Northwest guys who cashed in big with their inventions.
What was really fun was to write checks out, pay all the bills with the squiggle pen.
Later, they'll reveal how they came up with their $1 million ideas.
I like...
Coming up, from meager means to millionaires. But it wasn't all that easy.
I've been through all the mistakes and all the ups and downs a person can go through.
Next, learn how a squiggle pen and a scooter with pumping power put these Northwest men on Easy Street.
You know, everyone dreams of coming up with that one big idea that will make them rich.
Some of the inventions that have come out of the Northwest, in case you didn't know, include the hacky sack, the electric guitar, and those little square plastic things that you close your bread bags with, you know, to keep the bread fresh.
Yeah.
They're called quick locks.
Well, now it's time to add the names of 2 Oregon men to the list of great Northwest inventors. Here's a look at their one simple idea and how it made them a lot of money.
I went to my patent attorney, and he said that it was the neatest thing he had seen come through his door in 40 years of patenting.
It took off right the moment they introduced it. This was a hit. This is a hit. This is going to go somewhere.
2 average Northwest guys have come up with $1 million ideas. Ideas that made them rich beyond their wildest dreams.
What was really fun was to write checks out, pay all the bills with the squiggle pen.
Rick Rick Kristen of Sandy, Oregon cashed in on his squiggle pen idea within a matter of months. But Mike Jones of Portland went through thousands of dollars and years of frustration before his power pumper idea saw a cent of profit.
I've been through all the mistakes and all the ups and downs a person can go through.
In 1989, Rick Kristen was working as a Portland firefighter. On the side, he toyed with inventions such as a spring-loaded Christmas tree stand.
At that point, I thought, this is quite tedious to draw all these springs. What if I had something that would actually help me draw? And then the thought hit me just like that. I need a pen that can draw springs.
So he attached a motor and a cheap Bic pen to a mini flashlight. He taped it all up, and an hour later, the Squiggle Wiggle Writer was born.
And when you turn it on, voila, there's a squiggle pen.
Rick sold his idea to a toy company immediately, and before long, he realized his life would never be the same.
Probably when I started getting the checks.
So if you take big, long strokes, you'll go fairly fast. Now I'll write it for you.
Mike Jones wasn't so fortunate.
I figured before I got $1 back, I'd put $75,000 into this project.
Along with thousands of dollars spent on patent attorneys and parts, it took 6 years and 13 prototypes before the first power pumper ever rolled off the line.
I made every mistake possible with an idea.
6 years ago, Mike Jones was pouring cement driveways in fancy Portland neighborhoods. But one day, while shopping for a toy scooter, Mike envisioned his $1 million idea.
And I thought, you know, if you could stand on that and push the handlebars back and forth to make it go, that would be a neat toy.
Armed with his homemade videotape, Mike peddled his idea to a bicycle company.
Their engineers looked it over, and the president says, Mr. Jones, we would like to buy your idea. And they offered me a phenomenal sum for the idea. And so I thought, wow.
But 3 months later, the bike company went flat broke, leaving Mike and his money-making idea out in the cold. Discouraged, Mike gave it all up. But eventually, the power pumper caught the attention of Hart Enterprises, a young Northwest toy company. Over 2,000 power pumpers were sold in the first 6 months. And now, Portland schools are using donated power pumpers in their phys ed programs. As for Rick's squiggle pen, he sold 10 million of them. As a result of their good fortune, both men have quit their day jobs to become full-time inventors and millionaires.
I can get up when I want and go to sleep when I want. If I want to stay up all night long, I can stay up all night long because I don't have to do anything the next day. I set my own schedule. I don't let anyone set my schedule. I feel that's one of the privileges that I've earned.
Now their time is devoted to family and coming up with new inventions. However, neither man is letting his riches get out of hand. Rick still lives in the same house.
Here.
And although Mike just bought a bigger house, he stayed in the same neighborhood.
Just about what you see is what you will see from the Joneses.
So Mike Jones and Rick Kristen are still two average Northwest guys. They just happen to be rich average Northwest guys. Two inventors making the most of their $1 million dreams.
Now, the power pumper is not in stores yet. You can order it directly from the company. As for the squiggle pen, you can find that in many toy stores and toy departments.
Great ideas. Why didn't I
idea.
think of them? If you want any more information about these products, you can call our Good Evening hotline. The number is 226-5031.
Well, as we mentioned...